It's my lucky day, I guess. A 2-euro coin with the abduction of Europa. I remember that myth from high school. Zeus turning into a bull to carry away his girlfriend. Funny to find this coin here, in the heart of Athens, under the Acropolis. I think I'll keep it. Wait a minute. Europa. Europe. Oh, so that's how we got our name.
So right here in Athens, this is where the art of Western theater began. And not just anywhere in Athens, but right up there in that spot under the Acropolis, in the Theater of Dionysus. That was the first theater in the world and the main venue for classical drama. Drama. Think about it for a moment. A public art form that could bring to life and dramatize the most important issues of the day and of human nature. That's why it's still fresh and relevant today, and why it's the highest artistic expression of European culture.
So, the first theater in the world, and it all began here? Pretty cool to be standing where poets like Sophocles used to present their plays. I mean, those guys created something pretty radical, and it still works as an art form and as a design. Of course, this graceful shape, our school theater, the European Parliament, that's where they came from. The ancient Agora, what an amazing place to take a walk. It feels like I'm strolling among great ideas. Philosophy, business, education, politics. It was like the beating heart of public life in Athens. And the idea of being a citizen was born here too. I mean, in ancient Athens, it didn't matter how rich or noble you were, or what your job was. You could still serve in the assembly, be a judge, get elected by lottery to parliament, or even be president for a day. That was the first mall over there. Around this little square grew up all the public institutions and buildings. State offices, the city archives, the court. This is where Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and many others used to walk around, debating and asking questions. Lots of questions if you were Socrates. They say he developed the art of conversation, of exploring ideas with someone. Never thought about conversation as an art form. What a nice walk from the Agora up here to the Hill of Pnyx. Weird name. I guess this is where the real action was for citizens. And what a great view!
In ancient Athens, any citizen could stand up here, where I am now, and say exactly what was on his mind. It was his right and privilege to make a proposal in front of all the other citizens, and then they would vote, to support or reject it. They were speeches and replies with a specific amount of time for each. Athenians believed that a healthy city needed healthy and open debate.
Kind of amazing, really. I mean, back then, what king or leader would let ordinary citizens decide on things like how to run the state or whether to go to war? Okay now, all those in favor of going to war and paying for war, raise your hands. What a responsibility. One citizen, one vote, equality under the law, civil rights. We're used to hearing those things today, but back then, this was a revolution, like inventing the wheel. Now this is the area called Keramikos, where the city of Athens begins. A restless city, full of adolescent spirit and energy. Here was how you entered the city, right through the official cemetery. Interesting, there were graves of heroes and soldiers, Athenian citizens as well as foreigners. Anyone could walk right in and feel welcome, wherever you were from, whatever god you worshipped, free and unafraid. This is where Pericles must have made his famous speech about Athens.
Our city welcomes everyone, and there are no laws limiting what a stranger can learn or see or hear.
Athens was definitely not afraid of strangers. Openness and freedom was their best defense. Hadrian's library. During Roman times, it kept Athens' role alive as a center for education. Education must have been a really big deal in Athens. The famous Plato's Academy and Aristotle's Lyceum blossomed here too. Kids in Athens grew up with art, science, logic and sports, and the freedom to discuss and explore. I'm glad these are the roots of our European civilization. I don't like to be told what to do or think, but I like having the freedom to discuss these things and figure it out on my own. Finally, I'm right next to my favorite building in the world, the Parthenon. What do you think, Europa? I know I'm inspired by your story, but what inspired Pericles and his fellow citizens to create these amazing monuments? I think they were so proud of their city and their experiment with democracy, but they wanted to show what free people could create. It seems like these girls inspired too. Nice job! These monuments have such perfect balance and harmony. It's strange to say this, but the Parthenon feels more like dance or sculpture to me than just a building. I feel like it's talking to me about art and philosophy and harmony and freedom. I think I'm going to continue this conversation for a long time. Hey! This is yours.
No, this is ours.
Yes, I think he's right. I know it's taken a long time, with lots of bumps along the road, but it looks like Europe is here to stay.